Shan, how you killed it? I understood the assignment. I understood the assignment. Welcome back, Glams and Jits. And welcome back to my YouTube channel, Saving Shan, and to a segment I like to call 5 and 5, where I give you 5 biblical perspectives or 5 practical steps in 5 minutes. So basically, like a Bible study in 5 minutes. So, with that being said, I only got 5 minutes, so let's get into the video. Alright, y'all. As you can tell by today's title, we are going to talk about understanding the assignment. And so basically what we are going to cover in this video is this. And again, if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. 5 minutes, don't want to ramble, want to stick to the notes. We're going to talk about what is an assignment, what is the process of assignment, what is the importance of assignments, and biblical perspective of assignments, and 5 practical steps that you can take as we apply that to Bible theory and how we can apply that to our everyday lives. So let's just start off like, what is an assignment? An assignment is a task or a piece of work assigned to someone, part of a job or a course or study. So basically, when you learn something, you usually get assigned something called homework assignment, or after you graduate and you look for a job, people can assign you with assignments on your job. Say you're a journalist, you get assigned this story and you got to cover this story. So basically like that. So what is the process of assignment? Before you can be assigned something, you must acquire some knowledge of how to complete it. A good teacher does not make you complete an assignment that you know nothing about or don't know how to complete. 9 times out of 10, teachers don't give you assignments that you have no clue how to complete. 9 times out of 10, if you are given an assignment, you know how to complete it. And also, something to keep in mind is you may not be able to ace it, but you generally have some knowledge about how to complete what is being asked of you. So there is a process. So before a teacher can require or ask this of you to complete an assignment, you have to be taught first. So basically, what you getting first is the teacher teaches you what you need in order to be able to complete the assignment. Usually after something is taught, that's when you are given the assignment to practice the knowledge that you have been taught. Usually after we are taught something in class. So basically, the teacher teaches, you listen and you pay attention and you take good notes, and all of those things help you to do well on assignments. And so after you have been taught, after you have listened, after you have taken good notes, then you are given the assignment, and so that you can practice that knowledge. What good is it to have all that knowledge if you can't practice it? I still have an issue with the Pythagorean theorem. I ain't used that yet, but hey. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. So the teacher gives you this assignment to practice that knowledge. So you're basically using what you learned, your notes, your teacher's guidance, your teacher's lessons, all of that to help you complete the assignment. So what I want you to also keep in mind is that you don't need to be dismayed that assignments are graded. Usually, in any type of classroom settings, your graded assignments don't weigh as much or count as much towards your final grade as tests and final exams do. That's generally how that works in the United States. Well, in Alabama. Well, at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. So I don't want you to be dismayed that they're graded, but just take comfort in knowing that usually aren't weighed as much as it is as your exams will be. So the assignments help put into practice what you learned, and what you have trouble with, the teacher will correct and answer questions you may have. So usually after you have been assigned an assignment to complete, you complete the assignment, you have to turn that assignment in for the teacher to grade, for them to correct you. This is also a time that you can ask questions that you may not have understood, and I don't want you to be dismayed about that, because sometimes you're not going to know every answer to every question, and it's okay to get some things wrong as long as you perfect or correct that mistake, so you don't make the same mistake or an even worse mistake when it comes to test time. So what is the importance of assignments? Assignments help ready you for the test. Just as sure as you're getting these assignments and these lessons taught to you, there is a test coming, and that is the same in the natural as it is in the spiritual realm. It's okay to make mistakes, like I told you, but it's important to learn from them because you don't want to make the same mistakes and you don't want to make worse mistakes when it comes to test time. It helps you. So, what does the Bible say about assignments? And I want you to look at Luke chapter 9, and I want you to read it in its entirety. I'm not going to read it in its entirety as I only have 5 minutes, and I'm not even sure if I have. I can't sleep. I probably have, but anyway. So I want you to read Luke chapter 9 for homework. And what I'm basically just going to give you the gist of what Luke chapter 9 says. 5 minutes. 5 minutes, people. So he gives the disciples an assignment to go out, spread the gospel, heal all manner of diseases, all of that good stuff. But before they were given an assignment, Jesus took them as he healed the sick and as he taught them through parables. So he didn't just throw them out there with no training or no knowledge. These same 12 disciples that he was with him as he was doing all these miracles and performing all these great works, they learned by his example, they learned through the teachings that they gave him, and then they were sent on their assignment. Okay, and I also want you to take note in Luke chapter 9, the assignment came with instructions. A lot of times we get an assignment from God or we get an assignment in the natural. We skip the directions part. We skip the instructions part. And we go and try to complete the assignment, and that is very much counterproductive to what we're trying to accomplish. The best way to make the best of what you can of the assignment is to start with the instructions. Read the instructions. You don't want to go through an assignment thinking you know how to already complete it, and the instructions or the directions are completely different. That would have just been, your work would have all been in vain. So read the instructions, get your instructions from God. The assignment also has a greater purpose than what our humans' minds can grasp. So, yeah, they was going out to heal the sick and to spread the gospel, but I don't think it's a coincidence that right after that in Luke chapter 9, it talks about how Herod began to question who is this Jesus. So, did them going out and doing all these things play a part in helping to get Jesus to the cross? I don't think it's a coincidence. And also in Luke chapter 9, it was telling you, okay, the assignment was preparing them for something greater, being without Jesus in the natural realm. So we knew that, as I was just saying previously, that Jesus would have to go to the cross. And the disciples would have to be without Jesus in the natural realm. So they had to be prepared and they had to be ready to be able to do this thing without him physically in the earth. So the assignment was preparing them for being without Jesus. It was preparing them for something greater. So all this Bible is great. All these definitions and theories is great. What are some practical steps I can use to apply this to my everyday life? Practical steps. You have an assignment. Everyone has an assignment. You need to go to God to find out what that assignment is and what the instructions are for completing that assignment. And this is your homework, your practical steps. Read Luke chapter 9 and then implement these 5 practical steps. So the first one is to go to God about what your assignment is and the instructions for that assignment. 2, God is giving you the tools you need to complete the assignment. So go back and review your notes. Basically, God does not give you an assignment that you are not ready for, that you don't have some type of knowledge from. So you need to go back to your past and you need to reflect on the things that has happened in your past or things that you've done, mistakes that you have made, and figure out what it is God was trying to get you to learn and get you to know, and how that prepares you for the assignment. So go back, review, reflect on your life. Do not take the assignment as something arbitrary. There is purpose there that even you may not see the fullness with your natural eyes. So for what you can't see, you trust God. God does not tell us everything. His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. The Bible tells us that. And God can put together a puzzle and these pieces that I don't even see. I don't even see how it puzzles me how he putting these puzzle pieces together. So he may not tell you everything. So don't just take the assignment just as something you have to do, but it's something that's preparing you for something and for a greater purpose. Number 4, remember your assignment is preparing you for something greater. Pay attention to the questions that you are being asked and the lessons God is trying to get you to learn. And if you're feeling stumped, remember you can always rely on the teacher for help. So basically, God is not expecting you to know everything. All he's asking for is spiritual maturity. That's what that perfection means in the Bible. He's asking for spiritual maturity. So what you need to do is not get dismayed when problems arise, because just as sure as you trying to do what the Lord tells you to do, the devil is going to try to come and put a stop to that thing. He's going to come in, he's going to test them finances, he's going to do whatever he can to make you try to quit the assignment. But just because you come up against problems that you don't think you know how to face, or you have questions that you have more questions than you have answers sometimes. And God is not going to always give us the answers that we want or the answers that we seek. And that is where the element of trust in God comes in. For what we don't know and for what we can't see, can we trust God? And I'm going to give you a blindfold instruction example in our next 5 and 5, or another 5 and 5, that kind of helps you understand the whole trusting God process. And number 5, once your assignment is completed, you are not done yet. Go back to God with your assignment for grading. There is still more for you to learn, and there is a test you still have to prepare for. So you are given an assignment, and you have to do well on the assignment. And just like in the natural realm, you have to turn your assignment into the teacher. You have to go back to God. So once the disciples got through healing all the sick people and going out and spreading the gospel, they came back to God to give the report of what they had done. And so you go back to God so that He can make corrections, and so that you can do better on the next assignment. And that all of this culminates to get you ready for the test that's coming. So stay encouraged, people of God. Read Luke chapter 9 for your homework. Implement these practical steps. And let's not only understand the assignment, let's ace the assignment.